Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the May 4th, 2023 meeting of Community Board 11's Environment, Open Space and Parks Committee. My name is Jessica Elliott and I'm the chair of the committee. This meeting is called to order at 6:32 p.m. Tonight, we are joined by Assistant District Manager Khalid Nixon, the staff liaison to our committee. In order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe a few ground rules. No one may speak until granted the floor. CB11 members, if you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. If you click the participants icon, the participants panel should appear and you should find the raise hand function there. If you still have technical difficulty, you may click the chat icon and relay your difficulty to the staff. Members should not engage in a back and forth discussion. The chair will recognize the next person to speak. The chat function should not be used for CB11 business or questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. When a member is given the floor to speak, I will identify you and you can unmute yourself so that you can speak. Please keep your questions and comments succinct and germane to the discussion. Members of the public, if you have a question or comment about the subjects on the agenda, raise your hand through Zoom and wait to be recognized. We will now take attendance by roll call. Board members, you can unmute yourselves and answer present when your name is called.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, members, just to reiterate that there are 12 total committee members. We need 7 in order to make quorum. Diane Collier.
Here.
Thank you. Jessica Elliott.
Present.
No, I'm gonna go.
Just messed up my screen. David Giordano.
Present.
Thank you. Alonzo Johnson. Jewel Jones.
Here.
Thank you. Connie Lee.
Present.
Thank you. Malik McCullough.
Present.
Thank you. Debbie Quinones.
She looks like she's in the attendees. If we could upgrade her to panelist. She
Okay.
can't speak, I don't think.
Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah. I'll promote the panelist. And I'll circle back to Debbie. You said Asher is going to be late, so I'll look on that one. Russell Schuler.
Present.
Thank you. Michelle Wilson-Clement. Michelle, are you with us?
I see her. She's trying to unmute.
Michelle, your camera's on, but you're
I am trying to unmute, it just wouldn't switch.
got it. Okay.
I'm here.
Thank you. Jordan Wright. Okay. And Debbie Quinones, can you just confirm, please, that you're present?
I'm present.
Thank you. Okay, Chair, you have quorum.
Thank you. All right. The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office and was posted online. If there is no objection, we will adopt the agenda as stated. Committee members, if you object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand through Zoom. Seeing no objections, the agenda for tonight's meeting is adopted. The minutes from our last meeting were distributed to committee members ahead of time by the board office. If there is no objection, we'll adopt the minutes from that meeting. Committee members, if you object to adopting the minutes, you may raise your hand through Zoom. Seeing no objections, the minutes from the last Environment, Open Space and Parks Committee meeting are adopted. They will soon be available on the CB11 website. So we'll move on to announcements. Are there any announcements? Okay. Then we will move into our informational updates. Do we have any city agencies here that would like to give an update? Please raise your hand through Zoom and wait to be recognized. All right, seeing none, we will move on to parks advocacy groups. If there are any park advocacy groups, please raise your hand. Donna.
Hello, everyone. Yes, we have a few updates from Randall's Island. First off, the construction is ongoing and we're seeing continued progress with this RFK bridge and new ramp construction. The contractor Defoe has been very responsive to our requests in keeping the pathways open and safe for all pedestrian traffic. This project is still on schedule to be ongoing for the next 2 years. And one thing we'd like to say is if you are out and about in our park and have any concerns about the construction, you see something that maybe looks a little off or looks funny, please let us know right away. And we will address that. As far as Icon Stadium, we are in full spring mode with the stadium right now, and we're going to be busy all through May. And even though we've had lots of rain, we are working diligently to ensure that all of our ball fields are safe and open for all players. And then just a few programming highlights. Recurring every Saturday from 10 to 2, join us and CPF at Tom Jeff for the Jesse Owens track and field program. Every Saturday and Sunday, the farm will be open for public exploration and engaging with our farm team during urban farm open hours, which will be 10 to 4. For the next 3 Saturdays, May 6th, 13th, and 20th, join us for Boogie Down Story Time. Our family-friendly reading series begins from 1 to 2 at the farm with mindful breathing, Q&A, and children's yoga. And then for the next 3 Thursdays in May, which is the 4th, the 11th, and the 18th, join us from 3 to 5 at 103rd Street Footbridge for Tai Chi. And just a few other things. May 4th, River Keeper Sweep. Help us keep our shorelines clean as volunteers remove and report trash and plastic from the island's coastline, helping protect our shared waters for people and wildlife, and giving us a greater understanding of the nature of debris found in our waterways. And then we have therapy dogs on the farm. In honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, which is May, we'll be hosting 2 therapy dogs on the farm from 2 to 3. May 10th, we have Wormy Wednesday, because, you know, Jessica, we just can't get away from the worms. So from 3 to 5 at 103rd Street Footbridge, participants can celebrate International Compost Week by learning about worm composting and crafts. And then on May 13th, we have Birding Bonanza, which is going to be a full day of activities for adults, families, and children to celebrate spring migration. So we're going to have bird tours throughout the day with fun games and crafts. Again, that will be at the Urban Farm. And then on May 20th, we have the 520 Shoreline Tour, which is going to be a natural areas team from 10 to 12 for a fun, informative tour of our island shoreline, including wetlands and new projects. And then, of course, we have our big truck day. And that's good. That's always a great event. Join us and many other agency partners from 12 to 3 for a day of big trucks. So it's great for the family. It's great for children. It's fun for all ages. There will be different vehicles that, explaining how the city uses them to help keep our neighborhoods safe and clean and running. And agency partners will also be there to discuss career opportunities. So it's really going to be a wonderful event for the entire community. And we have dozens of other events and offerings in May. You can come check out our website at randallsisland.org. Follow us on social media for a full list and details. And that should do it.
Great. Thank you so much, Donna, for being here. And those were great updates. There's so many great events happening. So thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
Do we have any questions for Randall's Island Park Alliance? I see 2 hands, Malik.
Yes, how you doing, Donna? Thank you for the
Hi, Malik.
presentation. You stated that to let you guys know if we see anything as far as construction is concerned, or with this particular site. I wanted to know, is that before or during?
Okay. Well, right now, the construction is ongoing, and as you may be aware, they are building 2 new ramps onto the island. The project, again, is going to be going on for 2 years. We are working very closely with the contractor to make sure proper barriers are up, making sure that walkways are cleared, and all that kind of stuff. So what we're saying is, you know, as an extra pair of eyes, if you're on the island and you see something that looks maybe to you a little off, please do not hesitate to let us know and we will check it out immediately.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Malik. Michelle?
All right, thank you for your presentation this day. I appreciate it.
Hi.
I wanted to find out about the movies that are going to be on Randall's Island. And previously, you had to sit in the stadium, and they were advertised to be on the fields where you could sit in the grass. And people saw that visual, and when they came and they had the opposite, they felt a little taken aback.
Mm.
Will it be in the grass, or if it's in the stadium, will it be portrayed that it will be stadium seating instead?
You know what, that is a great question, and I will certainly look into that. We are waiting for our recreation department to come out with the schedule. And then I guess to either, you know, coordinate with our permit holders and our fields and things like that to see if in fact it will be held in the stadium or if it will be held in the field. And I will definitely report back to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Great. I see no other hands. So thank you, Donna, for being here, and thank you for participating in the Earth Day conference. We really appreciate it. And yeah, so sorry we couldn't get the worm bin, but we work on that for next year.
You know, thank you so much for inviting us. We had a wonderful time. And actually the next day we had our own Earth Day festival. And it was just wonderful. We just brought out a lot of children, a lot of families. So thank you again for that opportunity. We really enjoyed it.
Of course, and we look forward to the continued partnership. And I know it gets a little bit difficult for some of us working full-time jobs and doing this full-time on the side to be attending everyone's, you know, event. So I'm sorry I didn't make it to the Randall's Island event, but I look forward to attending as many as I possibly can.
Oh, there'll be plenty more.
I know.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Donna.
Mhm.
All right, are there any other parks advocacy groups that would like to give an update? David? Oh, here you are, David.
Okay, good evening. So I just have a couple of constructional updates. So PS 155 has officially went under construction for renovation. I guess the expected completion date is I believe it was spring of 24. I believe that's correct. Get back to you on that one. But at least the good news is that is underway, under construction. So is some of the areas of the park playground has been closed off. Paul Richards Playground, the construction is winding down. Just have one more site, one more inspection to go through and check to make sure everything is in compliance. I think they already completed the play equipment and the safety surfaces, just doing some final touches. So I believe they're scheduled to be done with that at least within the next 30 days. Fingers crossed on that as well. And I have some volunteer and movie night updates, up and coming events for the month of May. On May 18th, we have movie night under the stars at Marcus Garvey. We have another movie night on May 20th. I'm sorry, yeah, May 20th. Also at Mae Grant Park. Abe Lincoln Playground, May 25th movie night. For some reason I don't see usually they give me the name of the movie. I don't see any name of these movies here, but I believe the banners or the flyers are posted at each playground. So just when you walk on by, you'll probably see the invites to come on out, spend time with the family. also have 2 volunteer events on May 18th at Thomas Jefferson Park. And I have volunteers on May 20th from PS 171 at Mabe Grant Park. So those are it for my movie and my volunteer events for this month. And that's pretty much it.
Great, thank you, David. Are there any questions? I see Connie. Go ahead.
Hi, Dave. I am organizing a little bit of a cleanup with the fitness guys to get rid of some of that random stuff.
Okay.
So what I'm wondering is, can we possibly, once I get a little better organized, can we maybe have the garbage truck come round and if we put together a pile of stuff, can we have the sanitation truck come around to pick it up? We'll help throw it in.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I mean, my unit drives by at least 2 hours, at least twice a day in the park. So once the arrangements are made or once he sees the stuff sent to the side, one of the supervisors will detail him to go grab it and we'll give some help. If we see you there and you call me, you have my number. So
Yeah.
you call me and I'll stop
Yeah.
them what they're doing and have them come over and get rid of the leftover stuff.
Yeah, okay, that sounds great. We've just been waiting for the weather to clear up.
Mhm.
We had a few setbacks, but we have a plan to get rid of some stuff, so. All right, I'll let you know when we're ready.
Absolutely. No problem. We'll help
Thank you.
you. Okay.
Great, Debbie?
Oh, good evening, everyone. Very quickly at Art Park, I just want to take a minute to thank Dave for helping out with the shoot. We had New York One come on Monday and Tuesday to do a piece on the art installation that's currently there. And we were able to open up the park at 6:30 in the morning for the film crew. So I just wanted to thank Dave for that. It went really well. And in terms of some upcoming events, excuse me, May 20th is going to be a special day with the Center for Puerto Rican Studies, where they've invited the artist Jorge Luis Rodriguez and the Zach, excuse me, Giles Bonilla and Zach Lansberg. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. To have a dialogue about their 2 pieces in conversation. So we're super excited about that. We would love to have some movies under the stars, just sooner rather than later, because we tend to get that event in September when people are already going back to school. So we're hoping that we can get some earlier access to the movies. And we're going into full swing with our events. And coming up in June, we're going to have the Growth Award. Oh, our Gay Pride event, the first Saturday in June is going to happen. So our calendar is going to be up in the park and we'll send the information to you. So once again, just thanks again, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. No problem. And I'm going to get a team over there to do some pruning over there as well. Cut up some of the shrubs in the back.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Debbie, I just wanted to confirm that the artist conversation was going to happen on May 20th. Is that correct?
Correct.
Great, thank you. All right.
At
Are
1
there
o'clock.
at what?
At 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock. Thank you. Are there any questions for David Williams at Parks or Debbie Quinones from Harlem Art Park? Connie, is that an old hand? All right. Thank you both for your updates and we'll see you soon.
No problem.
All right. Are there any other parks advocacy groups or community-based organizations who would like to give an update? Please raise your hand. Okay, we will move on to our first presentation. We have a request for a letter of support for the co-naming Thomas Jefferson Park basketball courts. And we have Elsie Incarnation here for our presentation. Thank you for being here, Elsie.
Thank you, Chair. I am also sick, Debbie. Me and you are right there with each other. So excuse me for my voice and whatever else may happen.
Feel better to you both.
Thank you, thank you. So as mentioned, my name is Elsie Encarnacion. I am the Chief of Staff to Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala. And on her behalf, I'm here requesting a letter of support to co-name the basketball courts at Thomas Jefferson Park, located on 112th and Pleasant Avenue, after Willie King Kelly, who was the founder of Hoops by the River, which is an organization you may be familiar with. I do have, and so our office requested this co-naming from the Parks Department, and they suggested that we get a letter of support from the community board. I spoke with the chair about this, both the chair of this committee and also the chair of the community board. And I wasn't really sure of the proper procedure because I don't really know that we've done a co-naming of a park before. So I do have a bio for him. I can read it to you. I can submit it. And I've also spoken with his son, who is now in charge of the Hoops by the River organization. And he is willing to get signatures or anything that you guys may require in order to make this happen. We're highly motivated to do this. We were hoping that it would be an easy process and we can get it done before the summer starts, but we're open to following the process. So.
Thank you, Elsie. I do I just want to make sure, I don't think that it sounds like there's not a deadline. Would it be okay if we heard the presentation tonight and then voted on it at our next meeting in June?
Yes, that's
okay.
Fine. Yeah, I know that, the community board has been very diligent about not signing letters of support, and I think that that's a great process. So I'm okay with that. And yeah, I'm fine with that. And again, I can submit the bio, and if you do require signatures of any kind, just let me know ahead of time so that I can get that to you as soon as possible.
Great. Yeah, and this is my first time doing a naming as well. We discussed that even though it was, technically the, naming goes under a different committee, we would take this one under our court as it is a park. So I think it would be great if you could read the bio. And then I just wanted to clarify that it's a co-naming. So I wanted to make sure what the other name is.
It's Jefferson.
Yeah, it's Jefferson. It's Jefferson.
That's no name.
Yeah, it's just a naming, a co-naming. We call it co-naming because I'm so used to the street co-naming process. So, but it is just naming the court. But I can read. Let me just pull it up.
Hold on, Elsie. I'm sorry. This is Malik. I'm sorry, Chair. I just wanted to clarify a question real quick. So you saying like the court is it named? The court is not named?
No, it's just named it's just Thomas Jefferson Park. And
okay,
so
the court is really not named, and they naming the court after Kelly, the dad.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all.
No problem. Just want to get.
Yeah, I just wanted to say also, this is the first time that I've ever heard of that, and I've already got something in mind because I could hear them in my head, and I'll talk to you later.
Here. Okay. Talk to me later. All right. Are you guys ready? Okay. So Willie King Kelly was born in Manhattan, New York, to the late Willie Ingram and Edith Kelly on September 7th, 1959. He was affectionately known to his family and friends as Pepper, and his caring personality won the hearts of many who knew him. In the late 70s, Willie met and fell in love with Gladys Miranda, who he later married. Together, they had 4 sons and 1 daughter. A teacher both on and off the court, Willie juggled all of his free time working with the youth in basketball. He selflessly worked for the New York City Department of Education while furthering his education at Fordham University, where he obtained a master's degree in social work. This degree helped advance Willie's career at his second job at August Icon Center, where he worked with troubled teens. His devotion to helping others and coaching has always played a role in his life, And in the 80s and 90s, Kelly coached with various teams in Harlem, like the Riverside Hawks at Riverside Church and Young Life inside Salem Church. He continued to instill the game in others throughout the years, which eventually led to the birth of Hoops by the River, a nonprofit organization. Oh, excuse me. Hoops by the River is a community basketball program that serves the surrounding area and youth who may be less active due to lack of resources in this community. This program has led to multiple basketball tournaments over the years, also clinics, and also holding a focus on the environment safety with projects involving recreating the basketball courts, making them suitable for student athletes and the community. They also host yearly Stop the Violence events that promote anti-crime and anti-hate. Willie Kelly has been named the New Yorker of the Week in past, and also to recognize his consistency and lending his active services to the youth. We at the office want to honor the legacy and the life of the well-known and respected role model in our community by naming the Thomas Jefferson basketball courts after him. And just for the record, he passed away on October 6, 2018. And normally and typically through our street co-naming process, the individual has to have been passed for at least 3 years. And so it kind of correlates with that timeline as well.
I'm sorry, what's his name again?
Willie King Kelly.
All right. Thank you, Elsie. We have a couple questions. We'll go to Michelle and then Jewel. And if you have a question, please raise your hand.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I really appreciate your giving this story. However, I like to feel a little bit closer. Is there a way that you can have like some photographs of him and how his family feels about the co-naming? You said that he was married. Is his wife still alive? And how does she feel about it? And like I can't picture the basketball courts, and I pass by Jefferson like all the time, and for some reason I just can't picture it right now. So I understand that Thomas Jefferson is the name of the park, and all items within the park would be considered named Thomas Jefferson. So yes, it would still be considered a co-naming. But what are you looking to see? Are you looking to see like some sort of a plaque? What type of signage do you want to demonstrate that this would be the name of the basketball courts?
Thank you for that, Michelle. Yes, we are looking for some sort of a plaque. I think in lieu of what I always picture in street co-namings, which is like a sign, but some sort of a plaque on the basketball courts. They're located on 112th and they're not on the avenue of First Avenue. So they're kind of behind that first baseball field. But what I can do is I can definitely submit some pictures. I can ask his son to submit some letters from the family, anything that you guys need. I just didn't know what the formalized process was or what I should be showing up with. So I'm here to not only ask for the letter, but also ask for whatever it is that you need, we can get and provide. And really just to honor the legacy those basketball courts, have in the past kind of just been there, and there's been no real organizing of sports there, and kind of official organization of games. And Hoops by the River has really taken that to that level by making sure that we have teams, they have DJs that come out. It's really like a lively event for our young people, and it's really been a savior for a lot of them. So I'm willing to get any letters of support from a youth that have participated in the program, who have then gone on to become like mentors and coaches. So I can provide all of that to you. But yeah, I'm thinking of a plaque, some kind of a signage on the basketball courts itself to kind of have it as the name of the courts.
Yeah, I think that would really make a better full picture of everything. And also, when he was at the Riverside Hawks, what how long was he there for, and how did they feel about him? Since that seemed to spur him on to the next venture that he is being named for at Thomas Jefferson Parks.
I will include that in the next presentation I give.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. We'll go to Jewel and then Malik.
Thank you. So yes, I had a question about what you wanted to see in the park. So thanks for saying you're looking at maybe a plaque. But pardon my ignorance for this next, and I hate to belabor this point, but are we aware, so the park is called Thomas Jefferson. Are we aware of other parks where there's an aspect of the park within the park itself is named after someone? Because you keep saying co-naming, but it's an aspect of the park within the park, the basketball courts, that you want to name for this individual. And again, I know I don't want to belabor this point, but do we know of other parks where that's the case? Central Park there's something in the park that's called something. So, you get what I'm saying? Okay, because people, we're a little anal about this. Why are we saying co-naming? We want the basketball courts in the park named after this person.
I actually personally don't. I'm sure there is, and when you mentioned,
I can answer that for you if you want.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead, Malik.
Yeah, so there's plenty of parks that has an actual name. Rucker Park, the basketball court is named after Gregory Maris.
Right.
So as far as Equal and Teachman Park, they have 4 basketball courts. They're all named after different individuals.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are plenty of basketball courts. I don't know about other places or names. Even in Randall's Island, my dad has a park named after him, which is the soccer field. So there are plenty of parks that actually has different namage. I don't necessarily think they call it a co-naming, but
Exactly.
it might be. I don't know. But I don't think that they call it a co-naming. They may just I don't see it. But also they do have some type of signage that says, this court A is such and such person, or vice versa. So they do have that signage.
It's more like a dedication rather than a co-naming. And I think that moving forward, if this is something that's going to be entertained by this committee, we want to be clear on the language of it. And I think it's more of a dedication rather than a co-naming, because there's other parks that are entertaining changing the name of the entire park, right? And then they may dedicate a portion of the park to something, because they have like a wilderness garden and things like that. So this is not a new practice, but I think this is the first time that this is coming under us in this process.
Thank you, Debbie. I'm going to go back to Malik, and then I'm going to ask Khalid if he has any insight into this, or if we can follow up on our end to be prepared for the next meeting where we're going to take a vote. Malik?
No, that was mostly what I wanted to kind of say anyway. So it kind of fell in line, basically, because that's what I wanted to kind of, give that information out there.
Perfect. Thank you, Malik. Are there any other questions or comments on this request for a letter of support? Khalid, do you have any insight for us on this one?
This is also my first time hearing about a request to name a basketball court. We can, ask parks, of course. I'll open correspondence and we'll get back in touch with maybe Jana Lasorda but any of our other representatives. But I would just suggest at this time, just be clear in terms of what you would be requesting from the Deputy Speaker's office in terms of, do you want at least a minimum of 30 signatures or anything of that nature, just so that they can gather those materials on their end and in a timely fashion. We do have street co-naming guidelines for our Public Safety and Transportation Committee, which you can borrow from if you'd like, where you would want to bio of this person, some letters of recognition and petitions of support. That can be a request, an honest request that you would make if you want to pursue this.
And now that this is out, that this is is happening, I'm sure that it's going to not snowball, but it's going to become a thing.
Thank you, Debbie. All right, I see Donna Milsa has her hand up.
Yes, hi. I actually work for New York City Parks, and I would be more than happy to inquire about this particular issue that you guys are talking about. If you want to email me with your exact details, I can, in Janet's absence, I can go to our chief of staff and our commissioner and see exactly what would need to be done or the details and things like that. So.
Thank you, Donna. So I can initiate correspondence tomorrow morning and CC
Okay.
you. We usually converse with Steve Simon and Jana.
Yes,
Right.
that's exactly what I was going to go to Steve Simon in Jana's absence.
Right.
That's
right.
who, that's who asked me to come to the community board, Steve.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'll open up correspondence for us tomorrow morning, and then we'll work through it. But like I said, I would just suggest that the committee be specific in terms of what you would ask
Yes.
to support this application.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Elsie, I think Khalid's suggestion about using the same sort of process and things that we would ask for a street co-naming would apply here. So I'm not 100% knowledgeable about what those requirements are.
I know them well, so
Okay.
that's no problem.
Okay, great. So then we can go through it together at our next meeting with all the letters of support and all the other elements that are required, and we can vote on it at the next meeting. I see a few more hands popping up, so I will go to David and then Debbie.
Yeah, the renaming process can be pretty tedious. I've known the community board 10 is trying to rename the Langston Hughes courts after someone in the community. And it's been a year now since they put in their request. So it can be time consuming. But Steve Simon is best equated to answer those questions, and he'll probably relay the same thing that I'm saying, probably more detailed than I can. But it is a process with the name of the courts, and it's a plaque. It's a plaque at the entrance of the court. It's not like the person's name is on the ground or something on the court or anything like that. Just a plaque at the entrance. So seems pretty like a simple request, but it does go through a process through the agency, different levels. Good luck though.
We'll get there. Thank you, David. And Michelle and Debbie, did you have any comments or those hands?
I did. What I was going to say was that, with the street naming, it could be a little bit like Dave said, it's a lot, but then you may want to consider streamlining it and making it a little bit more easier for folks or specific. You get letters of support, signatures, and then the bio and stuff like that, because in some cases they want 100 signatures and they want signatures like 2 blocks around and stuff like that. So I think that that's something we need to be very clear about and manageable. Just keep it simple, because if Dave says that once it goes into that process it gets tedious, I don't think we want to make it more than what it already is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Debbie. I also don't think we want to make it different from our other processes, so that there's no weird adjustments that we're making as a committee that are not board sanctioned. So I think it would be best to keep to the same requirements. But Elsie, feel free to let us know if there's any challenges in getting that, and we can touch base and determine if there's anything we can do.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. I've spoken to the son. He's ready to get the signatures, get anything you need. I can provide the bio. I can get pictures, and I can also get pictures of the park so you have an idea of exactly where it's at. And I'll submit that as soon as I get it all together.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Elsie. Michelle, and then we'll move on.
Oh, now it's not working. Trad.
You're unmuted.
I am unmuted?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, so you heard me say that. Okay, that's embarrassing. All right. So basically, I just wanted to say, with all the information, since I am on public safety and transportation, to have that complete picture, to have those letters of support. Right now, it's still back and forth whether you need to actually go out and get signatures, but to make it go as smoothly as possible, why not just get the signatures in advance? And so people would know that, yes, the community does want, the community that's near to the park does want the name addition. I'm not saying name, a co-naming, naming addition or dedication with his name. And so with the photos, with the wives, with the sons, with the hawks, all of that picture, the better the picture, the better the streamline. That's all I'm saying.
Great. Thank you, Michelle. Is there anything else, Elsie, or?
No, that's it. I'll get that to you as soon as I can.
Perfect. Let us know how we can help. Thank you so much for coming and bringing this to the table. Nice to see you.
Same.
All right, we will move on to our next item of the agenda, the second annual East Harlem Earth Day Conference recap. So I feel like we already did a pretty good recap on the full board, but just I'll just run through my personal thoughts on everything, and if anyone has any feedback or comments today, that would be helpful. And then I think I'm just going to need some support on the sort of follow-up, and then we should talk about planning for next year. Excuse me. So as I said, in full board, I think the event went really well. It was chaos, of course, with how many presenters we had, but I think it was a good chaos. And I just wanted to say thank you to David and Asher and the Youth and Education Committee for partnering with us. We would not have been able to do it without you. So thank you for bringing all the kids and for putting on presentations and helping us with the funds. It was super helpful. And I really also want to give a huge shout out to everyone who is part of the working group meetings, meeting weekly to help us get this over the line, was a huge help. And everyone who came, obviously, and showed up at the event, supported the event. So I think that's pretty much every single person on this call, and people who are not on this call. We did receive a video of the event from Museum of the City of New York, but I was unable to access it. So I'm waiting for them to send me one that we can access so that we can put it on the website. A big also thank you to Khalid, who put up with us and showed up to every parks, working group call, and showed up at the event, helped us with all the coordination, and thank you. It was just above and beyond, Khalid. So we really appreciate you and everything that you do. We had a number of people who, I won't go through the whole list. They know who they are, but it's also on the invitation. But we had so many presentations on so many different aspects of from community-based organizations and community gardens to our big partners at the mayor's office and Randall's Island, and all sorts of city agency connections. So lots of things to be thankful for here. So I don't want to leave anyone out, but I also want to keep it moving. We did have 3 elected officials join us. Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine showed up at the beginning. And then we had Senator Serrano and help me out here. Oh my
Didn't the
God.
congressman show
Uh,
up?
Congressman Espaillat.
Espaillat.
Congressman
Espaillat.
Espaillat. Yes, thank you. I knew it was Espaillat, but I didn't want to get the first part wrong. Thank you, Diane and Khalid. So that was great. And I think, you know, Xavier really helped in reaching out to the elected officials. So hopefully next year, I think everyone's starting to take our event seriously, which is good. You know, hopefully we'll have more elected officials, more time next year for reaching out to everyone, for flyering around the neighborhood to get residents to attend, and all that jazz. So the one thing that I would say as like a takeaway was that, you know, we went on to, I think we did pretty well on time, honestly, somehow. I don't know how, but when we got up to the terrace at the museum, it was just so nice. And everyone was doing everything that we would have been doing in the like collaboration workshop that was going to tie up the event from 1 to 2. So we made the executive decision to just keep everyone enjoying themselves on the terrace. They were already, you know, discussing and collaborating. So I think that was the one thing that, you know, maybe I dropped the ball a little bit on the workshop, but I think all of the goals in the end were, you know, were out there. So are there any other comments or feedback from the event, plans for next year, thoughts? Connie?
Congratulations. I'm just going to make one comment because I was at home recovering from an accident for the last couple of weeks. But the day of the conference, I got a couple of phone calls from people telling me they couldn't find it.
Oh.
So I just want to mention that because maybe you just need to put up a big flyer or a big poster outside or a banner even. I think they were confused about the entrance.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I also got an email from someone that I think couldn't find it, but they were there on Saturday.
Well, stuff happens.
Exactly. So, all right, great advice. Thank you, Connie, for that feedback.
Again,
Debbie?
congratulations.
Thank you. Debbie? You're on mute, Debbie.
Of course, I'm on mute. I apologize that I wasn't able to be there due to some family issues, but one of the things that comes to mind for me is maybe just investing in a banner that says, you know, like Earth Day conference without a date, but just like something that you can use over and over again, that maybe can just be hung on the side of the terrace so that people can see it passing by. Maybe exploring a Saturday event, maybe, so that then more folks can come. Because I think that, like you said, if people are going to starting to recognize this as an annual event, there may be an opportunity for some type of expansion.
Thank you. David?
Yeah, I'll just add, you know, echoing some of what you said. I think, you know, everything, although some things may seem chaotic, it didn't seem that way to the outside people. And I think people had fun there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is kind of one of them topics that usually generally speaks to a group of people. But, you know, again, this is part of what we do, is exposing kids to these kinds of things, taking an active role in your community. So I thought it was really good. And I think we built on last year. I think the outside part was really good and, you know, interactive, and people had a good time, like you said. And I think also us adding that other activity, fun activity. There was actually some people who came out to museums with their kids that were there for the story that joined the activity we had outside as well. So, but I'll say, the thing is at the museum's there. How do you miss the museum? So, you know, I agree we should have a sign so people do know outside. But, you know, if you come to the wrong entrance in the museum, they didn't send them around the corner, you know?
Yeah, thanks, David.
You know,
yeah,
I again, just making sure that the museum has the right information. You know, sometimes a security guard may not know what's going around the corner, you know, but it was fun.
Thanks, David. Yeah, I did try to coordinate that as best as we could with the team that we were working with at Museum of the City of New York. And, I would have imagined that they would have helped us redirect people, which I'm sure they tried to do. But if people were hesitant and couldn't see it up front, then they probably, would quickly turn around if they didn't have an easy answer. So I understand. Michelle?
Hi, I think it went rather smoothly compared to not having the event. I think that a lot of people felt that they got connections. I saw cards being exchanged, and the excitement of the reason why we were doing it was happening. I don't think, I sort of missed the whole circle that we had last year, where we had the activists and the people that were charged within that circle afterwards. But I think it worked out just as well having people do one-on-one connections. I think that the following year, it would be a good idea to have a save the date a lot earlier, with the address of the museum within that save the date, because people are like, well, where is the Museum of the City of New York? I don't know where that is. And simple things like that would really help. I do like to have it on a Saturday, but if it is on a Friday, if people could have that save the date way in advance, that would really be helpful.
Thank you, Michelle. Great points. I secretly use the event to get a day off of work. Just kidding. No, but I think it's worth exploring both Fridays and Saturdays, and really coordinating with all the other organizations that we work with and know so well in the community. Like, I wouldn't want to step on Randall's Island's toes with their Saturday events, or I know we ran into an issue with the Friends of the East River Esplanade having an event at the same time. And I think you're right, Michelle, that those things could be avoided if we were more prepared and send out our save the date a lot earlier, and worked more closely with all of the organizations that we plan to work with year to year, so that they're aware and we can work around events together. Donna?
Hi. I thought the event was great. It was the first time I had ever participated in something like that. And I got to be honest with you, even though we were presenters, I walked away with an incredible wealth of knowledge from the other presenters. And I just thought it was great. I did not get the impression that it was chaotic at all. So that was, I know, as somebody who's running the show, maybe things didn't go as well as you had planned, but I got to tell you, I think the audience didn't notice that at all, because I was there and I thought it went pretty seamless. And I just thought it was great. I thought the children were absolutely incredible. They were so well behaved and seemed very interested. And I really liked, like you said, we were out on the terrace and we had more time to interact, and it was a more relaxed environment where people were going around and really engaging with the folks out there with the table. So that was great for us to be able to continue promoting the wonderful opportunities that we offer on Randall's Island. But I think, as other folks have said, we are somewhat limited because of the time and the date, where most of the children are in school and most of the families then are kind of centered around that. It would be great if we could find, a spot where it's a little more conducive to the families and things like that. I don't know if it is possible to do something on a weekend. But I think that certainly would be something worth considering. But I think overall, you really did a great job.
Thank you, Donna. And, maybe there's an opportunity for us to partner with Randall's Island and get people over there one year as well. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I think our big challenge is, the space, right? And how do you fit so many people anywhere? And I think a lot of the places that we used to have full board meetings, for example, are still not, opening their doors to the community board. And, we also run into challenges with payment for spaces. So I know the Museum of the City of New York was very kind to waive as many of the fees as they possibly could. But we still ended up having to pay for the staff, which, it's a lot with our small budget. So if there's any thoughts or ideas as to, where we could, find better spaces or bring our worm bins and, still have that same, indoor, maybe sort of, maybe it doesn't even have to be indoors. Maybe we can explore, all sorts of other options. So happy to.
I'm gonna think of that. I'm gonna think about that on behalf of Randall's Island, but also on behalf of parks, and to see if there's a facility or a space where, it could be a possibility. And maybe we can work together.
Collab with Randall's Island.
What?
I said a collab with Randall's Island.
Collab or Randall's Island. Malik, we're the same person.
I like to help out.
Thank you, Donna. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so I'm going to put my email in the chat in case somebody doesn't have it for some reason. And any additional thoughts or feedback, that you want to say, but maybe don't want to say on the recording, you can send to me, and we'll follow up. I still see a hand from, before I go to you, Michelle, I'm going to go to Diane because I haven't heard from Diane, and then I'll come back to you, Michelle.
I'm just going to add that you guys did very well, I think. And if you don't think you did that well, go and look at the congressman's Instagram. You are all over it. Okay. And he didn't spend as much time with Uptown as he did with you guys. So we're a bit jealous. So I think you did quite well. You had he didn't say much when he got there, except for obviously he was smiling ear to ear. So you obviously met his expectations. So I wanted you to know that. And the rest, I think you all did a good job. And it's difficult getting people, period, even if you advertise it a year beforehand. So I think, and I do think you should keep it in the same vein of the Earth Day. And, maybe Earth Day will fall on a Thursday, but keep it on the same time frame. So I just wanted you to know that. Go to the Instagram if you want to see how well you did. It's all over his Instagram.
Thank you so much, Diane. And definitely, it's a team effort, so I couldn't have done it without all of your support. And with that, I would like to ask if there's anyone who would like to continue to support as we sort of follow up with everyone. I know I personally dropped the ball on that last year. So much going on. So if anyone is free and available to help me wrap up all that, just reach out to me.
I'm down.
Thank you, Debbie.
I will. I've sent out thank yous to some of the people and with some photos, and I will continue if you wish.
I wish. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you need. I'll definitely help out.
Great. Appreciate you all. So I'll reach out and I did do a survey. Michelle did the survey of the sort of post-event feedback, and there wasn't really any insights that came out of it. Unfortunately, I feel like everyone picked one of every presenter as something the one that they felt like they got the most information about. And I think there may have been only, one sort of non-descriptive comment about, not having an enjoyable experience, but otherwise everything was super positive. I will recognize our chair, Xavier Santiago.
Hey, Jess and everyone, just can't quit you guys. I literally said to Jess, I'm going to try to take some time, and now the boys are busy playing games, so I had a brief moment. I wanted to commend everyone. I cannot begin to tell you how immensely proud of all the great work that was done on the day. And Jess and I know when it comes to run a show and running a production, it's like bada boom, bada bing, and get out and on with it. And the kids' smiles. I mean, I've got this great picture of David that I got to send you, my man. Just everyone's lit up and having a great time, and they walked away with a lot of good information. One recommendation I would say is that some years ago, we had done a affordable housing forum that was co-sponsored by Cornet. So it was part of our public-private events and sponsorship. So that's something maybe we can reach out, just similar to kind of like how we had that last year. Now we have a longer runway to plan and collaborate with Randall's Alliance and all the others to make sure we're kind of scheduling everything. But yeah, I think that's now's the time to begin. So yeah, great job, everyone.
Yep, now is the time to begin. Thank you so much, Chair. And again, thank you to everyone for all of your support and your work on this, and looking forward to next year. I will move us along in the agenda, and I will pass it over to Malik to just talk about our parks tours. Malik, are you there?
I'm here, but I'm trying to get away. My son going crazy, y'all. So, yes, so I have, well, we created a calendar for our park tours. It gives about 4 to 5 parks per, I guess, every other week, starting June 3rd. I don't know if I try to send some like lead the post, but I'm gonna just post it in the chat so that I guess everybody could kind of see or have an idea of what we were looking at, just so that you have a basis of where and when we can possibly do these tours. Oh, hold on. But it's just a base we possibly have as far as the schedule is concerned. Can it be amended or changed? Yes. If anybody has any better ideas or anything like that, this is them. If y'all look in the chat, I posted them in the chat. And that's just a list. Basically all the parks that I picked them in a close vicinity. Connie brought up a great thing as far as not rushing through the parks as much and trying to really analyze and visit these parks and see them to know our community. And hopefully we can do this, on a yearly basis where we at least visit the parks one time a year, just to get an update, to see how they doing, see what the people doing, see what our people may need or may not need, and then move forward. Because every time we get some type of presentation to us and they talk about these parks, some of the times we may not recognize or know, just like Michelle stated a little bit earlier today, she couldn't get it or generate the court, and sometimes if we able to do this on a consistent basis, it'll refreshen our memories, because it's not like we may have not visit the park, but we just don't remember a particular aspect or something like that. So this may help us out in the long run for a lot of decisions that we make as well, because we'll at least have seen it and have an idea and be like, oh yeah, I remember. So that being said, I hope everybody sees the schedule. Do everybody see at least the preliminary schedule that I put in the chat?
Yes. Yep. I just have one question. Is August 26th the sort of extra day in case one of them, the dates falls through?
Correct. So and also in September, any date that we necessarily be like a makeup day, because let's just say on one of these days it's raining, or it rains midday, so the only other thing that I was speaking to Khalid about is about timing. And we spoke about timing, and we talked about possibly starting the tour, I guess around 10 o'clock. And, trying to see how far we, like whatever timing that is, but not trying to rush through it. So that's why we try to pick like a late morning, but like not too, late afternoon. And because we understand that people have other things that they have to do, maybe other jobs. And if we're gonna ask for help from parks or any other people that may, be doing some type of work within that park to be around or give them that schedule early would help out that we start this process just early, maybe not as early as 9, 10 o'clock. I think wasn't a feasible time, but there's open air everyone to kind of like fill it out or just to see what they hear your thoughts, and so that we can make a good decision for the whole committee and not just obviously Malik. I just wanted to give something so that you can see the people and have an idea of like where the thought process was. And just to be clear, every week when I put the 5 parks, they're
It's really hard to hear you.
basically in
Yeah,
close
it's a little hard to
vicinity.
hear you, Malik. I heard
Oh,
you're
okay.
you're
Do
just
you hear me?
asking. Yeah, you said you were asking for feedback from everyone, and what was the last thing you were trying to say?
You're on mute, Malik.
You there, Malik?
I think he got dropped.
Okay.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
here. Do you hear me, everyone?
Yes, you're a little choppy, but we
Yeah.
heard that you wanted feedback, and then you were saying one more thing, and we couldn't hear it.
Yes. You can hear me clear, right? Because I don't want to move. And where I'm at is a.
It's not 100% clear, but it's a little better.
Okay, let me go outside real quick. Just give me 1
Okay.
second, okay?
Okay. And while we're waiting,
oh Lord.
let's see you.
Can I speak? Real quick, I was gonna suggest that maybe when you have the visits,
Let's see.
to have something in writing, so like a checklist, so that then we can have a file rather than relying on our memory, because I can't remember nothing.
Yeah,
Um,
me.
Just saying that. And the other thing is that if you're scheduling a visit for
Let's see.
excuse me, July 1st, a lot of people may be away. They may have to go on vacation.
Okay, great. Yeah, I know, before, as we're waiting for Malik, last time that we did it, we had like a quick synopsis of every park. And then we had like a little note, we were taking notes as we went along, but I think it was just me and it was just digitally. So if there's a better way to do that, let's talk about it. Malik, are you back? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, yes, you're right, Debbie. And I do know that date is there as far as being away 4th of July. So like I said, that's why there are dates in between, and there's the later date as far as the 26th is concerned. And I guess we could pick that as a committee. Also, the parks that I picked, they are very in close vicinity. And the reason why I did that is so that we can walk to each park, and it's not as far as a distance when we're doing the 4 or 5 park tours. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I had to say about the parks and the tours. Do anybody else have any suggestions or thoughts?
Russell?
I would suggest and I would participate in it, is if we could give an outline of what the park is, that we could have like a, whatever it is, a list of every park, what is there, what are we supposed to see, and then have it as a checklist. What did we do? What did we see? And give some type of description about it. Well, you know, the history of the park if we can, how long it's been around, latest data that it's been renovated, because we did have I know Abe Lincoln Playground's been renovated recently. So we need to know each park, you know, is there, what we expect to see, what did we see, and, you know, do some type of evaluation and assessment. We may say it need more improvements. It may say it's reached its max, and the support that's there, the support that's not there, just see how we could add to everybody to enhance their existence. That's it.
Thank you, Russell. And Malik, the document that we used the first time that we did this, I can send that to you. It has like the baseline information about each park. It may not be every park that's on this list, but we can just use that to build off of if that would be helpful.
Yeah, yes, it will. And Russ, you just saying some information on the park as far as us knowing the park?
It was done a couple of years ago, I know, just to be able to, so I'm speaking to those that are new to it, new to experience. Most of us don't know where all the parks are if you're new, or you could be in here forever and still not go to certain parts of the neighborhood. I mean, Community Board 11 actually extends up to 142nd Street and Fifth Avenue. Many of us might not know that. Many of us might believe that it ends at 125th Street. It is all that way. But just to do that, so we can just have an understanding of where the parks are and what's there. Whether we go there or not, it could be a document that we have that can have it for the general public. It serves a good purpose for the general public as well.
Yep, excellent idea, Russell, and happy to help you with that, Malik. I did have one question.
Yeah.
It was just about Civitas. They had reached out about the jazz band, and I feel like I've taken so long to respond to them by now that they've probably figured out something else. But do you mind if I follow up with them and send them the schedule and see you know, what might be possible with their partnership?
Of course, of course.
Great, thank you. Diane?
This is so old business. But I don't know if any of you have walked by or been by where the Marion Sims statue used to be. That it is, if you do walk by there, you will see that it has been boarded up with cheap plywood or paper. And it looks very torn and it looks very tattered, and a definite blight on the community, considering that it's been there for a long time and the statue replacement has not happened yet. The reason why I'm bringing it to the Parks Committee, because the removal of the statue started in this committee and made the resolution to make it happen. So keep in mind that the Marion Sims statue was the only statue, that controversial statue that was removed by de Blasio's committee. And I think it's important that we rally as a board to get that replacement. And it's almost it'll be going on 4 years now that it's been looking like that. So I just wanted to put that on the record. And we should be, I know that it's going to be working, it's coming out of the Economic Committee because it was handed off to the Department of Culture, but I think we need to be united as a board as we were united almost 6 years ago. I just wanted to put that on the record.
Thank you so much, Diane. I don't have anything you know, prepared to say about anything there, but I see a lot of hands, so I'll go to the hands and then we can follow up and make sure we come back around as effectively as possible. Russell, is that an old hand? Yep. Jewel?
So I just want to respond to what Diane said. So, you know, Marina Ortiz of the East Harlem Preservation is really spearheading the movement of the replacement of the statue. There's been an artist identified. I think it's a matter of money, and I'm sure Xavier will speak more about this. His hand is up for this reason, but it's moving along. But I raised my hand, two things. One, I want to discuss rats, and number two, I want to discuss WEAC, and these are two separate issues. So in terms of rats, I sent the
Do you
email.
mind, Jewel? Can I just come back to you to start another topic? I just want to close the loop on this
Oh,
topic.
okay, sure.
We'll go to David and then Xavier, and then we'll come back to Jewel.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Diane said. I think, even last week when we had the event at the museum and I looked across the street and kind of saw what Diane just described, it kind of was a hollow look. And the fact that, we wanted to take away something that would poorly represent our community and to put back something that did, it's like we left garbage there. And, now that it has been this long, and it did originate with this committee, and Marina was a member of the board at a time as well, that I think we need to circle back on that. And I would think this committee would take the lead more than economic, but that's just my opinion. But maybe we should, kind of brainstorm some of this through the summer and kind of just have like a little, get on a meeting quick and just talk about how we may be able to work this and make it more appealing. And, it is right across from the museum, and I did notice it last week. Thank you, Diane, for raising it. It was like one of the things you acknowledge in your head, but, you don't necessarily go to bring it forward, and I'm glad that you did, Diane. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Xavier?
Yeah, thank you, Diane. I think those that were a full board this past month will recall we voted on sending a formal request, a letter inquiring on the state and getting more clarity, although it wasn't necessary to do that. That's something we've been chasing down and trying to find out why the stalling is occurring. So we do want to get that loop closed. And I appreciate your advocacy and everyone else's as well, and support as we try to replace that and turn the page on a very dark moment in our collective history. So I appreciate that. So we'll keep everyone posted on this committee and EcoDev so that way everyone knows. So thank you. I appreciate it very, very much.
Great. And I think, Diane, we can just go ahead and put that on our agenda for next month. So just so everyone can follow up on it and make sure we have all our ducks in a row for next month's meeting.
Great.
Thank you. All right, back to you, Jewel.
Sorry about that.
No, please.
Very sorry about that. I thought we were just speaking.
Yeah, we're all good.
So two things. One, I sent an email. I'm sure everybody saw the articles from DSNY and their whole future of trash report and containerization things. So I had sent an email to Jessica. I think we should talk about that within this committee, as well as health, in terms of. I would love to know how CB9 was selected for this pilot program, since the city sees that Harlem in general is a rat hotspot, and CB9 apparently has been selected for this pilot program where they're going to have these containers. In terms of trash for trash bins. And also, I would like to hear more from DSNY just in general. I know I'm just, anal about this, but in terms of, it's the Tish is, I guess, spoke to CB9 about this, and why isn't she, more engaging with our board. So I just wanted to just say that. And also, we talk about getting that tour of that, new M11 garage at 128th Street. And I don't know how long it takes for someone just to schedule 5 people to walk over someplace to look at a garage. I don't know what the difficulty in that is. And so just wanted to say that. And then secondly, I just want to make an announcement that I am a part of WEAC for Environmental Justice. There is an actual workshop that's taking place on May 18th at 4:00 at Union Settlement. WEAC has a climate ready uptown plan workshop. It's all about, the climate is changing. It's time to prepare. It's a workshop intended to arm the East Harlem community in terms of resources and information, but particularly with regard to extreme heat and flooding in and around East Harlem. So again, there's a flyer, hopefully it will be part of CB11's newsletter. It's again, May 18th at Union Settlement. It's We Act along with their partners, including the East Harlem COAD, which we all know about with Angel, and other partners as well. So look forward to seeing individuals there. I will be there facilitating a couple of things here and there. More information, happy to, reach out to me for more information. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. We'll go to Diane and then Michelle.
So, Jewel, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I am.
Feel free.
I understand that WEAC had gotten a 10 million, not a 10 million, was it 17 million? 10 million, I believe it was a $10 million grant for from the EPA, federal EPA. Do you know anything more about that? Is it possible? I believe the committee should get a presentation as to what it's about. And not that I'm asking you, of course, to give the full details, but I do know that this happened recently.
Yes.
And my understanding is that it is to help those, it's sort of like a clinic to be set up to help smaller environmental justice organizations get funding necessary to address the particular mission that they have. Am I right on that?
Yes.
I just wanted to.
Correct. I have a PowerPoint if I can share my screen right now. I'm joking. No, but yeah. It's very exciting. So they're like this kind of like entity that will assist other, as Diane said, other organizations that are interested in environmental justice. I mean, this is a really big thing. So I'm happy to let WEAC know that if the committee, the board itself would like maybe a presentation, learn more about what they need to do in terms of accessing the grant money. So I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, I just clearly this is going to be under your jurisdiction, but I just wanted to put it again on the record because I most certainly would be interested in hearing about that as well.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Anything
thank
else?
you both.
Anything
I
else,
see
Diane?
Michelle's hand raised, but Joel, it would be great if we act or whoever we want to reach out to come visit the committee. We would be happy to entertain that in the month of June. Our agenda is a little light.
Sure thing. And anything else, Diane?
Michelle?
Hi, yes, Jill, thank you. I really, this is amazing. And it's also amazing to be able to have access to whatever funding that WEACT has. I remember that last year that WEACT was prominent in placing different solar panels on top of NYCHA buildings. And I've seen a lot of solar panels on, like, you're coming in from Queens, you're coming on over the place, seeing those solar panels. I'm wondering, has any information been obtained so that have the people in those NYCHA buildings have their utilities been reduced to almost nothing? And has there been any effect with the rest of the neighborhood where that extra energy has been sent out to reduce other people's utility bills? As well as the event that you spoke about, is that going to be a Zoom gathering as well? So
Thank you.
Questions.
Thank you. So in terms of the solar panels, I'll have to get back to you about that because that's one aspect of WEAC that I'm not too much involved with, especially as it relates to NYCHA. But I'm happy to relay your questions and get back to you about those questions. And the second, what was the other question? What's the other question?
The second was the event that you spoke about that's coming up soon. Is it going to be also a Zoom, a virtual event that people that aren't able to come in person get some of the some of the information?
As far as I know, it's solely in person. I don't believe it's hybrid. It's in person. So you're asking about a hybrid version as well? Or at,
Yes.
okay, yeah, I, as far as I know, it's in person. I'll let them know if that's a possibility to have some sort of hybrid. But please come, there'll be food and food, lots of food, and there's an incentive and it's interactions. I'll be there, interact with me. No. But I'll let them know about that. You're concerned about both your questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Joel. And I just wanted to, I haven't had a chance to read your email yet. I've been attempting to work my way through the abundance, but I do think it's important to address what you mentioned about the future of trash from DSNY. And I think, you know, we can, I'm not sure, Khalid, if we've been dedicatedly reaching out to Melissa at DSNY every month, but I think we can use this as a way to invite her back to, you know, talk about something that's positive, even if it's not in our community, to see how we might be able to bring that positivity into our community. And just to let you all know that, and Xavier, feel free to jump in. There, you know, from what I understand with the tour, was that they were waiting to schedule a tour for Speaker Diana Ayala's office first, and that we would have been second in line, but there's no reason for us to have to wait while that's figured out. So Xavier, if you have anything to add on that, please feel free to jump in.
Yeah, so that's where it was left off. And then there's kind of been this punting of there's been, sorry, my littlest one was just trying to talk to me. Hold on a second, George. There's been a bit of punting by DSNY and getting that sorted. I would like to chase it down a little bit further so we can actually see what the status quo is. And there's nothing that precludes us, in my recommendation to Diana Ayala's office, is that why don't we just make it a joint affair and all go at the same time, so we're not having to coordinate two separate trips. And then we can reconnect and all compare notes and what we believe the next step should be. So.
Great, thank you. And just as a quick note, I know we were trying to throw in as many things as we can at the end there, but I'm not sure if this is a different slide deck. I kind of remember announcements being at the end, but we should make sure to do announcements during the announcement section at the beginning, if possible, moving forward. I think that's it. Unless anyone else has any new business. Seeing no hands, we will take roll call and adjourn.
Sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty. Give me 1 second, members.
No worries. Thank you, Khalid.
Okay, members. Diane Collier.
Here.
Jessica Elliott.
Present.
David Giordano. Alonzo Johnson. Jewel Jones.
Here.
Connie Lee.
Present.
Malik McCullough.
Present.
Debbie Quinones. Asher Rodriguez.
Present.
Russell Schuler.
Present.
Michelle Wiltshire Clement.
Present.
Jordan Wright. All right, that's it, Chair.
I'm here.
Oh, Jordan, thank you.
Quick enough.
Thank you.
Sorry. Say that.
All right. Well, have a great night, everyone. And thank you again so much. And we'll see you very soon. This meeting is adjourned at 8:01. Thank you.
Thank you, you too.